How's it going, everybody? First off, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who checked out the last video, the history of the farm. Looks like it went over really well, and a lot of people liked it. I had a lot of fun. It was a lot of work, but I had a lot of fun going through all the old pictures and putting everything together. And I think my parents had a lot of fun putting it all together. And it's gonna be a nice little like capsule that they can always go on YouTube instead of like digging out old pictures and looking through them. They can just go to YouTube and check that out. So I really like that. One of the comments I got was someone said, "I wish it was longer," and I cut a lot down because it was a 20-minute video. Actually, it was way over 20 minutes. I cut it down to 20 minutes and stopped at the 90s. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring you the 2000s. So anyway, thank you everybody once again for checking out the last video. If you didn't, make sure to check it out. It's a really good video. Here is the 2000s. I'm going to start it off with the part I cut off from the last video, and we're going to roll right into the 2000s up until now. Hope you enjoy. Waiting for another wagon with the New Holland 790. That replaced his 718. That's why he upgraded to the 4055, and he chopped with that setup, that 4055 and the 790 for a long time. There he is with a 4055. He got upgraded to the H&S wagons, and that's a New Holland 900. I want to say it was a 1999. It was the last year they made the 900s before they went to the FP series. Went with the tandem axle. It was a big upgrade for him. Tandem axle, crop processor, all that. Here I come with the 4040, my daughter on my lap coming down. And there's my daughter and her papa, as she calls him, getting ready to go help Papa chop some corn. Here's the 4420, loading up a gravity wagon. This is doing some high moisture corn. I think this is 07, that's the first year they had the combine. And there's my brother in the 2940 hooking up to the wagon, getting ready to take it up and put it in the seal store silo. Here's October of 07, and here he's getting ready to do some beans and getting it all dialed in. Little different with all those gravity wagons. Here's end of July 2008. The bin's going in. Got the combine, so it was time to build the grain bins. It's amazing how quickly they go up. Putting the first load of beans into the new bins. This is October of 2008. He's got the 2940 on the gravity wagon, and he's got the old Farmall Super C on the auger. He got that Farmall Super C from a neighbor. Had it for a few years and then ended up selling it to a different neighbor. A little different than we do it today. Nice brand new auger. This was pretty neat. This was a year when we were short on corn silage, so my dad planted some sorghum, and this field was really wet. So he mowed it, knew it was going to be wet, so he went and borrowed a neighbor's 4450 and hooked onto our 900. And you see a 7330 there, that's another neighbor. He was going to run wagons. I had the 4055, and the two of us were just going to run wagons because it was a few miles away from the farm. What we ended up doing was having to hook the 7330 up to the 4450, and between the two four-wheel drive tractors, that's how we ended up chopping. So me and my brother ended up running wagons the whole time. It's a nice lineup of tractors there. From left to right, it's the 4040 when we used to run snap-on duals. Now we run just a wider single tire on the back, the 4055 and the 2940. And there's the Ford F800 when it first came. We were expanding the acres that we were doing with the grain, so we ended up picking up a small truck to match up with the 4420 combine. Here's my dad's 1957 520. It used to be his uncle's tractor, and my dad bought it. This is when it got delivered to the farm. Then he sent it down to my buddy Dusty's to be restored. Dusty did an amazing job on it. This is when we were loading it back up and taking it home. And here's the 4555. We picked that up out of Pennsylvania when we got rid of the 900 chopper and went to the FP240. Needed a bigger tractor to pull it, so we ended up going with the 4555. It's been a great tractor for us. So these little heifers aren't going to be small forever. It won't be long before they're in the barn milking. In the last video you saw us running around as little kids, and just like these heifers, we didn't say small forever. The good thing about the 2000s is now you got the grandkids running around. So here's a look at the grandkids in the 2000s. Who is that? That's Lucky. You love her? That's nice. Tell her goodnight. Oh, that's nice, buddy.
Yeah, it's nice.
Hey, sweet girl. Yeah, everybody loves Lucky. She was a wonderful, wonderful cow. There's my son when he was just a little guy with Lucky. There's my daughter when she was a little girl riding with me out in the tractor. There's my daughter with her papa. Proud papa. At our fair, the little kids that aren't able to show yet get to walk with adults and show a calf. So this is when my daughter was 4 years old. She got to walk in with my sister's cow. That's my daughter and my nephew Alex after they just got done showing. Looks like he's giving us the finger, but he's really a good boy. It's my niece Haley with Seven. Seven was one of our favorite red and whites. She was a sweetheart. Everyone loved Seven. That's my daughter, and my dad is showing her how to put the machine on Seven. My little nephew Gavin. That's when Gavin was a little older, watching us do hay. This is when we were turning two fields into one bigger field, and I was cutting a bunch of trees down. I like that my little guy was posing just like me. There's my little guy and my brother with Lucky. There's my daughter putting the machine on Lucky. My brother was milking that day and she wanted to help her uncle out, so he let her milk Lucky. There's my nephew Dan riding with his Uncle Mike while we were raking hay. Adriana learning how to feed a baby calf a bottle. That's my niece Maddie when she was really young. I think we had just redone the heifer shed. So one of the biggest upgrades we did in the 2000s was redoing the heifer shed. As you saw in the last video, in 1989 we upgraded our upgraded this from the old machine shed into the heifer facility. And it did a good job, but in the late 2000s it was really starting to show its age, and heifers really can be destructive, and they really it really needed an upgrade. So that was our main thing, was upgrading it to the facility you see now. So here is upgrading the heifer shed. So here's what the heifer shed looked like in 1989 when it was redone and new. As you can see, it started wearing down. The door was about falling off on that side. This is what some of the old calf stalls look like. There's a couple of calves with their coats on in wintertime. Here's my daughter standing there petting one of the heifers. This is before it got redone. You can kind of see the back wall. There's some plywood there. It kind of got patched together as we needed it. So it was in need of an upgrade. So the first thing we did is take the gates and take the fencing down to make that loose area out front into a bedding pack area. We're going to extend the rafters out, extend the building, and make that a nice bedding pack area for the cows. We took the bigger group of heifers and put them outside in the pasture, and that way we could work on the wall and getting some concrete poured for their where their stalls were going. Here you can see how that looks with the wall done and the stalls. Once that was done, we moved the smaller groups of heifers over to the other side. That way we could work on one side at a time. Here's my brother and my father. Me and my brother were using those boards to close up the one side. Actually used them for both sides. Those are actually tongue and groove boards for one of the old silos from out front. There's the new calf stalls that got delivered. So the old ones got taken out. And the new ones look real nice put back in. There's the first couple of calves in the new stalls. It turned out really nice. It makes it so much easier to clean out. You can now take the first couple of groups, move them into the bedding pack area, and clean out the alleyway. And vice versa. You can put them in the alleyway and lock them in there and clean out the bedding pack. For the big group, you can put them outside in the pasture, shut the door, and then just clean them up. Makes it real easy to work in. So once again, I want to thank everybody for watching the farm history video and the other farm history video. If you didn't see the first one, part 1, definitely go back and check that out. I hope you enjoyed part 2. Yeah, give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. Drop me a question or comment below. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you have, thumbs up to you. I totally appreciate it. I will see you guys next time. Have a good one, everybody.